Welcome to Bunnyfish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as Bunnyfish on Ravelry, Plurk, Instagram, and YouTube. Today is Tuesday, the 31st of December, 2013. This is episode 59, Pics or It Didn't Happen. Grab some sticks and string and come sit with me. It's a day late today. Last week's episode didn't even get uploaded until this morning. Well, that's not true. I uploaded last week's episode Monday night, but found out there were sound issues and I didn't get back to fixing it until this morning, so it didn't get put up officially until this morning. So you're going to get 2 episodes back to back, basically. This will be up hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully there's not a lot of glitching, although there might be because this is going to be a very picture-heavy episode. Mike's was good. We had Christmas on, I think it was Thursday. I think my sister got here on Thursday. I can't remember. Yes, that sounds right. She got here, we emptied the back of her truck, which had presents from her and both of my parents. They're divorced, so they buy presents separately. We put them under the tree. We woke up the kids at 11:30 at night, and I went upstairs and I was like, Gabriel, Santa came! And he came down the stairs pretty tired, and then I guess his face lit up. I was behind him carrying Mara. So he was really excited about it. Mara was like, seriously, why are you waking me up? Sorry, this is all bothersome today. Hair's not cooperating. The sun is in my face. I'm obviously wearing some slummy around the house wear because I am super tired. My sister's kids are exhausting. Anyway, we did Christmas. Then Friday we went to the aquarium with the children, and the best part of the aquarium this time was that there was a shark wearing a Santa hat with ornaments in its mouth. Obviously not a real shark, but it was pretty awesome. And then, let's see, Saturday we went to Steve's family thing, all of us, all 8 of us. That was not bad. It was really, really nice. Steve's mom bought Santa presents for Amanda's kids, so they got to open presents too, which was nice. Sunday, we went to knitting group and then we came home and I made actual Christmas dinner. And yesterday they stayed until 2-ish, I think. And then they left and I just wasn't up to recording because it was a very busy weekend and I just needed to sit. Mara's watching a movie that she really enjoys. That's what that sound is. The sweater knit along ends today, so you probably won't even see me reminding you about the sweater knit along. Someone might post something by midnight. I will probably be staying up because it's New Year's Eve and I can stay up and hang out with my boyfriend and hang out with my friends on BKNs and it'll be awesome. I even bought some sparkling cherry juice, I think it is. I don't know, I got sparkling juice so I could have it. Anyway, I'm really random and all over the place. Hope you enjoy that. Thank you, Amanda, for giving me that. We're always very random and all over the place when we're together. It's insanity, basically. I have some thank yous. I got gifted some patterns for Christmas, which is fantastic. I got 5 patterns. I'm not going to show them to you via tablet because once again, my tablet is missing. I find it during the week, I use it, and then come showtime, no deal. So, my friend Fiona gifted me Shapeshifter by Celia Jones. Jerry gifted me the Gramps cardigan by Kate Oates, which I'm super excited about and will be starting pretty much immediately. Anuska gifted me the Comet, which are arm warmers that are crochet and they have a cable running up the side and it's awesome. The pattern is awesome. And that is by Tanya Oswald. Debbie gifted me Forks Socks by Rachel Coopy, which is part of an ebook that I think is awesome. And you might get the reference. It's Twilight themed socks. So I'm really excited about that. And Josh Ricks gifted me his pattern 357 mitts, the name is in reference to the number of rows in each section. I believe that's what I heard. I haven't started any of those patterns, but I will be starting them because I would really like to work on patterns that were gifted to me in the coming year. I really, really want to work on those and, use those patterns because I don't want people to feel like they gifted me things and then I didn't use them. So, Pics or it didn't happen. I finished all of my Christmas knitting. But since it is after Christmas, I don't have it to show you. Everything will be in pictures this week. All of my finished objects. First up is Robert's Dog. This pattern is Sweet Pup Crochet by Terry Crews, which I don't know if you can get anymore. Last week, the week before, my computer didn't work because my mouse died. I have a wireless mouse and it takes one battery. Well, we don't have batteries because as soon as we buy some, we use them all up. I don't know how. It's like magic. So I didn't have a mouse, so I couldn't use my computer, which is where I had downloaded the pattern originally. I tried downloading it on the laptop that I was borrowing from my boyfriend, but the link to the pattern didn't work or something. I don't know. It just said that I couldn't get the pattern. So I don't know if it's still available. It's really cute though, and hopefully it's available somewhere. I'm just not. I had it on this computer, so I messed with the mouse long enough so that I could email myself the pattern and worked from the laptop on it. Anyway, I worked it in Caron 1 pound using the colors Bright White, Black, and Forest Floor. And I used a US size G6 hook for that, which is a 4.25 millimeter. I'm pretty sure Robert liked it, but I don't know. He was like, why didn't you give this to Kenny? And I was like, because I'm giving it to you. Kenny, I usually make dog things for Kenny, and my sister said that maybe Robert would like one because we weren't sure what Robert would like. So she was like, well, I kind of feel like he would like a puppy too because Kenny always gets the dogs. So then I made it, and then he was like, blah, Kenny. Whatever. Next year he can make his own stuffed animal. That would be awesome if he could. He's not quite there yet. I also finished his socks. The pattern for those is the same that I've used for all of the kids' socks. Start out with toe, knit stockinette for a third of it, knit the next third of the sock in knit 7 purl 1 rib, and then for the last third switch over to knit 3 purl 1 and do 10 rounds at the top in knit 1 purl 1. And I used Sensations, Souls, and More in the green, blue, yellow colorway, which is obviously not accurate for the color name, and a US 1 2.25 millimeter needles. He liked them. He wore them. Not as much as Cecilia liked hers. She wore hers almost every day. And my sister wore hers, I think, every day. My sister also takes a lot of baths, so it's possible that they got washed while they were here and hung up overnight. I don't know. I didn't keep track, but I do know that the socks got worn, which was pretty exciting. I finished a pair of Rock Stratomits by Josh Ricks. I used Red Heart Super Saver in coffee, warm brown, and buff, and a US size 7 4.5 millimeter needles for those, and a matching hat. So the Vector Drift, also by Josh Ricks, in the same colorways, and that's made on a US size 8 5.0 millimeters. You can get the Rock Stratomits right now, but you can't get the pattern for Vector Drift until March, I believe, because it was part of the club patterns for the sort of a Spartacus Dies Club. The last FO is Prima Leg Warmers by Sarah Wilson, and I use Sensations, Bamboo, and You in pink red pattern using US size 4 3.5 millimeter needles. These were a struggle for me. I don't know why. The pattern is not difficult. I didn't want to work on it. I don't know. Maybe it's because the pinks were the wrong pinks, or the pattern was just so... I struggled with the pattern because it was so simple. It's free, so I'm pretty sure I can talk about this. So it has rest rows in between the two pattern rows, and the two pattern rows are the same thing, only offset by one stitch. So I would just get in the rhythm, and then I would forget which pattern row I was on. Not at the beginning of the round, in the middle of the round. I would like skip a stitch. And then I'd get to the end and I'd be like, that's not what this is supposed to look like. So I'd have to go back and count through my stitches and see where I messed up. And that happened like 20 times at least. I would say maybe 30 times throughout the duration of these leg warmers. The second to last pattern round, I had to tink back on 3 of the sides because I worked them 2 at a time, magic looping. So there are 4 sides to do. I had to tink back on 3 of them just because I was over it at that point. But they did turn out really nice. I like the way that they look. I think that the recipient will love them. I think this because I posted a picture on Instagram. For the past 2 months, I've been posting a to finish by the end of the year picture on a baby blanket. So I had all the projects that I wanted to finish in the 2 months laid out so that I could visually see my progress. Like every time I finished a project, that yarn and the project were no longer on the blanket. And unfortunately, I'm not successful because there are still 3 projects that will not be removed from the blanket by tonight. However, I think I started with 17 or 19 projects on the blanket, and I added 10 projects at least. I think I added like 7 projects to the blanket officially, and then did like 6 or 7 other projects additionally. So, I didn't get what I wanted to accomplish at the beginning of the 2 months done, but I did get a lot done. So it's kind of a win, kind of a fail. Depends on how you look at it. I'm not sad with how it turned out. Anyway, I believe I was going somewhere with that. Oh yes, the leg warmers. I started them and posted a picture last Sunday because I've been taking pictures on Sundays, not this past Sunday, the one before, or Monday, depending on when I get to the photo. This week I'm not doing it until Tuesday because it's the end of the year, so I can just show everybody what I didn't finish. Anyway, I posted a picture and I had started the leg warmers, and Melissa, Amanda's friend, saw them and she was like, oh my gosh, I love that project. And I almost responded saying, well, that's good because I'm making them for you. But I didn't. She must have forgotten that she picked out that yarn. When they were here in May, I let them see my stash, and they picked out a couple things of yarn each from the stuff that I was like, this is stuff that I'm not obsessed with. If you would like a project out of it, now's the time to speak up. So she spoke up for that yarn, and I made her the leg warmers. Her birthday is in a couple days. I don't know, early January sometime. So she'll be getting those from Amanda from me, which is good. Hopefully she likes them as much in person. She wears a lot of leggings, so leg warmers over the leggings in Michigan cold will be good. I did spinning. I did a pretty decent amount of spinning for, how much knitting I did. But I have a story about my spinning before I show you anything. I'll tell you the story while I show you things. So Cecilia was really interested in spinning, and what I was spinning is this. This is faux cashmere from Spartacus Dyes. This is like her official business taggy thing, but I like that she handwrites out. It is about 4 ounces, and the colorway is, oh no, not faux cashmere, faux angora. My mistake. 100% nylon. It is Pink Ladies from the Grease series. And this is what the braid looks like. So Cecilia was really interested in spinning. I don't even think I was spinning on the pink. I think I was spinning on a different project that I started last week. I started 2 spinning projects on one day because I was just like, I need something else. So we spun this together. Not all of this. I had started it, but most of this was done with Cecilia's help. She would keep the spindle spinning and I would draft. So that was really fun. We did this. And then on Sunday, because all of the kids were really interested in my spinning, on Sunday I went to knitting with my sister, and we took Cecilia and Mara. Well, I guess all 3 boys got sent to timeout because we left them home with Steve. And Steve was in the master bedroom, and there are 3 other bedrooms. One of those other bedrooms is my craft room. I don't know why Steve thought it would be a good idea to put a child in timeout in my craft room. That is a horrible idea. I walked in, Kenny came running up to me and he said, "Auntie Mama, I got put in timeout in your craft room and I spun some wool." And he had the biggest smile on his face, and I was just like, okay, oh, that's great, honey, that's awesome. So I went upstairs to assess the damage because I hadn't left out a spinning project for the kids. They had been helping me spin by keeping the spindle going, and I had been letting them keep the spindle go on the projects that I'm spinning thicker, like this faux angora. I'm not spinning it thin. So I'm also not really picky about how it finishes. I'm going to spin a braid of merino that I have that looks nice, and then I'm going to apply them together. And if it turns out thick and thin, it turns out thick and thin. It's probably going to be a cowl, or I'm thinking it's going to be a cowl and a something else. So I'm not worried about the yarn being super even, which is why they were helping me with that. Well, I came upstairs and the first thing that I saw was this. Oh, Steve set his cup down on top of my fiber. He's not allowed in my craft room either, unsupervised. Nobody is allowed in my craft room unsupervised because he does not have appropriate respect for my stuff. Anyway, so this. I came home and I found little bits and pieces of this brown fiber. This is the wool alpaca silk blend that Lorraine made for me so I could spin lace weight to go with the other lace weights that I've spun on this, so that I can make a shawl. Did I tell you that was my plan, that I had decided I'm going to make a shawl using the lace that I spun? So anyway, this is how thin I'm spinning this lace weight, and that is not how I left it. Lorraine made bats for me, and I tore off a long piece from one of the bats, but it was all together. This is fine. I can work with this. These little pieces that have been ripped off, that's fine. I can spin that. I wasn't too worried about that. And then I saw the BFL that I got from Hippie Penguin Fibers that I want to spin into a 3-ply fingering weight. So this is my progress. This is still the first turtle. It's slow going when you want to spin that thin. And normally I keep it in this fantastic bag that Jerry made for me. And you can see that this is hanging out. I didn't put anything back, and one side of the fiber is shorter than the other side of the fiber. I usually just spin directly across, don't break anything off. Well, so there was this, and I was like, well, that's not too bad. I can still work with it. I'm not trying to spin this any particular way. I'm not really concerned with how it stripes out. That's fine. And then these. These are that fiber, but they were tied in knots together. I think you can see that. And there were actually 4 of these little pieces that were kind of knotted together, kind of spun a little bit onto my heavy plying spindle. I'm guessing they were tied together because he couldn't figure out the drafting. Kenny learned how to spin because one of his friends' moms gave them a drop spindle and some fiber, but it's been a year or more since he's done it, so he couldn't really remember. And yeah, so my fiber was tied in knots. For the most part, it drafts out fine. There were actually 4 of these, and I've spun 2 of them onto the spindle because I decided yesterday that I needed some space. And I said, I'm cleaning my room, which is kind of true, right? If these are sitting around, they're part of the mess, but if they're on the spindle, they're not. So that's kind of true. It should spin out. I was really happy that that had happened to my fibers instead of fibers that I'm going to spin for other people, because if I was trying to, he could have felted something, which he didn't, thankfully. Something bad could have happened. Nothing did. Not really bad. Like, it's fiber, it's yarn, it's not a big deal. It's not like I wasn't freaking out. I was just like, oh, why? The other thing I worked on a lot was my sock yarn blanket. I finished all the Christmas knitting and I was like, selfish knitting. But I didn't want to work on any of the socks that I have cast on for myself. So I was like, blanket. I will do socks later. So I'm going to work on some socks tonight because I don't want to cast on anything until almost New Year's. I might wind yarn. I might cast something on later, but my plan is to work on socks today for the rest of the day. Anyway, sock yarn blanket. This is the Poo Poo Southern California Poo Poo colorway of 716 knit, 716 sock that I made socks for Cecilia with. I'm going to be using up the rest of it to make socks for my sister, and I wanted to make sure that a square got in my blanket, so I did that first before I make socks for my sister. This is yarn from Jerry. This is the square that wasn't finished last week that I said I wasn't going to show you, but then I did because I can. Also yarn from Jerry. This is made using the ends from the pink red pattern leg warmers. I did long tail cast on, so I had this dark pink was from right before the long tail cast on, and then this lighter pink is the end of the, I did a sewn bind off, so I had a tail from that too. And this used almost exactly all of that scrappy bits. This is the blue, green, yellow that I used in Robert's socks, and this was the scrap from the beginning of the sock because I wanted the stripes to match. So this is what it took to get the stripes to match. This is yarn from Jerry. Also yarn from Jerry. And these two are yarn from Jerry as well. Yep, those are all the squares that I put on. So I'm up to 364 squares on my blanket. I want to do 776 squares total, which means I'm about 46% of the way through, I think is what I figured out. That's really exciting. I am closing in on the halfway mark of this blanket. I was looking at this the other day in a VKN, and I was like, when did my blanket get so big? I mean, I know I've been working on it. I just hadn't laid it out and really looked at it in a while. And it's getting so huge, which is perfect because I want it to be ginormous. I got ridiculously spoiled. Completely spoiled. I got so much new stuff this week that I'm not going to show you everything I got this week. I'm only going to show you Christmas presents. I got some things that were not Christmas presents also. So, but you'll see that next week and I'll explain then. The first thing is a book that I got from Steve's mom for Christmas. This is Socks a la carte color work. I have the socks a la carte book that is just patterns, and I really like it. So I'm excited to have this color work book because I do want to get into more color work. I enjoy it. I'm just not very good at it yet. So I'm excited for this. That was a really thoughtful gift to give me. A color work book and, well, a sock book, a knitting book, instead of just, some random stuff. She's pretty good about giving me stuff that I like, though. So that's good. And before I show you yarn and stuff, I'm going to introduce you to this side of me. This right here is my new dress form. It's an antique dress form, actually. It's got like wrought iron feet and stuff. And I haven't played with it, but it's adjustable. You can move the parts out to make it bigger. I got that from Amanda. And my dress form has a name, which is Ermintrude. We decided together that that would be an appropriate name. Okay, now on to the yarny stuff. I was so spoiled. So ridiculously spoiled. My friends are amazing. Amazing people. Yeah, this box came for me. Amazing. And in it, there are 6 bags of tea that have been broken into 1 serving baggies. This box came from Josh. He sent me tea because he is a little obsessed with tea, and I really, really like tea, but I don't usually buy a lot of stuff for myself, like a lot of indulgent things, and tea is kind of indulgent. So he sent me little samples of a lot of things so that I wouldn't have to buy them for myself, and now I can just buy the ones that I really, really like. In case you're wondering, I think Sherlock is super, super gross. It's a tea blend, and it's got liquid smoke in it, so it's kind of barbecue sauce-ish. I don't like it at all. But there is one called, it's also from the Sherlock tea set. It's, I can't remember now, Molly something maybe? Molly Harper? I don't watch Sherlock yet, so I don't know. But that is a flavor that I super, super like. It's kind of fruity. I like it a lot. Onto fiber from Josh, because not only did he send me all that tea, he also sent me a lot of fiber. I'm only going to show you half of it, though, today. So this is Caramel Macchiato Alpaca, and it is from Ren Couture. These are Rolags, and also from Ren Couture, more Rolags in Iced Lemonade. Limeade? Iced Limeade. Also alpaca. And these are, this one's 3 ounces, the Iced Limeade. I don't know how much is in the Caramel Macchiato. He also sent Yarn vs. Zombies. This is, maybe the colorway's on the back. Should have thought about this more. It's 100% rose fiber. Yeah, fiber from roses. 100% rose fiber in budding greens. I'm excited to try that. See how that spins up. It's really soft, but you can tell that it's a plant fiber versus an animal fiber. This is 110 grams of Icelandic wool from Two Sisters Stringworks, and I don't know the colorway name. Apparently they have colorway names. Josh and I were discussing the fibers. They're not on the tag, so maybe they're on the site. I don't know, but it's blues and greens and blacks and gorgeous. And then from Haley and Lisa, well, this came from Lisa specifically. She got several of us. She had Jenna from 716 Knit dye special colorways. So this is a one-off colorway. It's my special colorway that they collaborated on together. It's on the 716 sock, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and the colorway is Dr. Laura for the Deceased. It is a hunter green and a neon green. Oh, and it's beautiful. This is what I'll be balling up to cast on. This is my official New Year's cast on. All of us who got them are having cast on, except maybe Josh, because it's Josh and he's too cool to hang out with us kids, except in BKN. And then Haley and Lisa collaborated on these two for me. They're both from Nooch Fiber, and they are both Morningside sock, which is 100% superwash merino. This one is the colorway Hobbitses. It's browns and greens. It's a 2-ply. They're both 2-plies. And this one is called Flow. You can't even, no, there's no justice done to this yarn on camera. It's just, you can't even see how gorgeous this blue is. It's so much more aqua than what it's showing up here, and this blue is so much richer. Just, oh, I mean, this one's coming out, you know, pretty close, but this, absolutely no justice. Just no. Oh, also from Lisa, she sent 716 mystery markers, which come in these little boxes and they're sealed, so Jenna can't even look through them and figure out what stitch marker you get, because you get a little charm marker. And mine is a giraffe, which is kind of perfect because when Gabriel was a baby, the only way to get him to sleep was with music and lights. He had to have, we called it a magical seahorse. And if he was sleeping away, he had to have the magical seahorse. Its tummy lit up and it played music. Well, at home, inside his crib, he had a musical giraffe, which didn't light up, but he loved that thing. And when it died when he was 1.5 years old, we had to go get a second one. He had outgrown the musical seahorse by that point, but he had to have the magical giraffe, who we named Raffi. I don't think he's obsessed with giraffes anymore, but it was pretty important when he was little. So it comes with that, and then it comes with a collection of other stitch markers, and they're all different colored rings. I have black and copper in here, and they have different colored beads. There are some purples, greens, a yellowy color, some clear, and then one of my stitch markers, which is being held hostage on a project right now, is this black with a bright orange. So it's serious Halloween stitch markery going on. Also from Haley, oh well, also in the Nooch order, is this Central Park fingering in a green color. It's beauteous. That's going straight in my sock yarn blanket. Also from Haley is Loopy Legends from the Loopy U. It's 100% superwash merino, 485 yards. I'm thinking Tracy's Organic Garden is the name. It's just gorgeous. So beautiful. My friends, they know what I like. Ridiculously know what I like. I mean, I don't make it difficult. I tell you guys what I like, but it's one thing to be like, oh, this is what I like, and it's another thing to have people like pay attention enough to actually get you things you like. Also from Haley, she made these adorable little ornaments for my Christmas tree. There's one in my green and has an H on it. There's a red one with Steve's S on it. Gabriel's is orange, and Mara's is this like purpley blue color, which is so perfect with an M on it. I love them so much. They were my favorite part. So I got yarn in the box, and then I saw the sweaters, and I was like, this is the best part of the package right here. These little sweaters. So in love with them. They are adorable, and they were completely a secret. I didn't know they were happening. I got stuff from Mary Lee too that was homemade. She made me these, There you go. It's a pair, and they're sandals, but like footless sandals. I don't know. They go on the top of your feet for the summertime, and I will never make myself a pair because I just won't. But I think they're pretty cute, and I don't wear shoes in the summertime. And I think it would be nice to have something a little fancy for my feet. She also made this for me. It is a hat with ears, these green awesome ears, and super long scarfiness. So I haven't worn it yet because the times that we've been outside, I've been having to drive, and it's pretty deep. So I have no peripheral vision, which I use a lot. My friends are super generous. I finished listening to A Dance with Dragons. Amazing. I wish the 6th book was out right now, but it's not. I am still reading Allegiant by Veronica Roth. I always forget how much time 5 kids take up and think that I'm going to have more than I do. So I'm only about halfway through with that instead of done with that. I'm not going to give you a list, but I will give you a peek of what I am thinking of for 2014. I'm not going to do resolutions this year because last year I did okay. I didn't publish designs like I wanted to. The list is up here. My goals for last year. I wanted to make myself 8 pairs of socks. I know I made 6 for sure. I'm pretty sure I did 7. I don't think I made 8. But that's pretty good because I just don't need that many pairs of socks. I got gifted a couple pairs of socks, a couple hand knit pairs of socks. So my sock drawer is pretty full. I could stand to have a couple more, but I'm not sad that I didn't finish that. I mean, I'm making a few more pairs for myself right now. So I'm not too broken up about that. I wanted to do 25 pairs of socks using yarn stashed before 2013 started. That didn't happen. I think I got to 20, and mostly because I used that yarn for other things. Shawls and hats. And yeah, I think those are the types of projects that I use that yarn for. So I just didn't have the yarn for it. I did make over 30 pairs of socks this year though. So that's kind of a win. I wanted to make 2 sweaters. I did that. And I wanted to make a lapgan from the Lion Brand Homespun. I did that. So I'm just not making myself a list this year because I don't know what I'm going to be knitting by the end of the year. Last year, at the end of the year, if you had been like, hey, you're going to make, I don't know, how many shawls did I make? 5 this year? I would have been like, not really my thing. Apparently, it is. Apparently, my friends make it my thing. I wouldn't have thought of that at the beginning of the year. So what I am doing is I have my notebook, and this is what I want to finish every month. The side that's all written on, that's for January and February are pretty much booked, what I want to work on. Obviously, this is just an idea. I'll change it up as I feel fit. But for July, I want to make dishcloths for Christmas for my mom, Steve's mom, Becca's mom. I want to make dishcloths then so that I'm not scrambling at the end of the year. I don't usually do all of my Christmas knitting at the end of the year. I've been stockpiling since, I don't know, May of last year? Well, of this year. I'm already confused over what date it is. So that's already written in the notebook, so I can be thinking about it when it gets there. I can be like, oh yeah, I wanted to do this month. Well, I'll just push it off another month because, let's be honest, that's how it's going to work. But, you know, in October, I want to make socks for Gabriel and Mara for Christmas. In November, I want to start Cecilia Robert Kenny socks. I don't have anything written for December yet, but I'm sure that'll be full. So this is an idea because I really liked having those projects on the blanket for the picture for Instagram. It just made it like I had something to go off of. So now I have something to go off of. Will I keep to this? I don't know. But I have an idea of all of the things that I want to start in January. I have 8 projects for January. Do I think I'm going to get them all done? Probably not. They're much bigger than what I've been doing the past 2 weeks, but I should make a pretty big dent in them. and I hope you made something fantastic with your sticks and string. I will see you next week. Bye.